Guys, man, it's your boy Jordan back here with another Nostalgia Factory video. And today we're going to be talking about a series that is near and dear to my heart. And that series is Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. It's a lot of stuff in this series that just makes me absolutely love it. Like the story, the art, obviously the anime, the manga. And we're going to talk about all of that in this video.
Yeah, bitch, I just put up in a lamb. I just put up in that big boy tongue, I don't got no mice. I give a fuck what you heard. You say that you poppin', but I ain't heard him. Any beat that you pass me, I murder him. We finessing this bitch and this man. My bitch pull up and buckle my pants.
Now, just a brief summary of the story. We meet the main character of the story, Tanjiro, and he's the elder brother to all his siblings, and his mother is very sick, and he takes care of all of them by bringing finances home by selling charcoal to the nearby village. One day he decides to come home, and his family is completely murdered by this mysterious creature, who he then finds out they are demons, but the only person that's left alive is his sister, Nezuko. And so the whole story takes off because he wants to save his sister and turn her back from being a human instead of being a demon. So that was a bit of the plot. Now, it's a lot of stuff that makes this story good. Like, for instance, the characters. Like, I'll give you an example. This character named Zenitsu. Zenitsu starts out as a coward. He's scared, he's running from everything, but he eventually becomes this like badass at the end of the series. It's characters like Inosuke, who didn't really trust anybody at the beginning, but then at the end he learned to love Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Zenitsu as a family. There's characters like Gigguk, Rengoku, and the characters is what makes this show and this manga so good. It just makes it so good. Now, I've read every volume from 1 all the way to 24. I've even read the spin-off volume, A Story of Flame and Water, and I have to say that I enjoyed every bit of those series, like every bit of it. The manga is just really, really good, along with its, companion, the anime, which the anime is really well animated and really well designed. If you have not read Demon Slayer, I highly recommend you to read Demon Slayer if you like stories like Inuyasha, because it kind of reminds me of that series in a lot of ways, and I had a lot of, nostalgia with Inuyasha, and so it kind of bled over to Demon Slayer. Now, some downsides of this series is the 12 Kizuki are some really cool villains, and they're really, really great. But the main villain of the story, Muzan, he's kind of mid. And the reason why I say that is you really don't get to know his motives. You really don't get to know what he's planning on doing to people or what he's planning, All you know is he's just this angry guy who's a demon who wants flowers, and you really don't, you really don't get to know him that well in the story, and it just makes him to be a bland villain. I wish we had been able to spend more time with Muzan to, discover his true motivations besides I'm the big bad villain and I'm trying to kill all the demon slayers. It's some other characters in the story that I want to talk about briefly. I want to say my favorite of the 12 Kizuki would have to be Akaza. Akaza is probably one of my favorite characters in this series, just because of how beautiful his backstory is. Another one is Daki and her brother. I forget his name. No, not the movie train, but the Entertainment District arc. Two very good villains, a brother and sister duo. Their backstory was really good. I also like Rue in the very first season. I like his backstory of how he didn't have a family. And that's one thing that this series does is it definitely makes you feel for the enemies. as much as you feel for the heroes. And it tells a story that's not a straight line of good versus evil. More like this story is a gray line because it shows you the good and the bad of the demon, and it also shows you the good and the bad of the hero. And that's one thing that I love about the Demon Slayer story, is they capture that very well with backstories, flashbacks, inner dialogue in the manga and in the TV show. They capture it very, very well, and it makes me just entertained every time to read it. When I got all the volumes of Demon Slayer, I was super happy to get involved in that and to read it. I have to say, man, that Demon Slayer is definitely worth your time to read if you have not read it. It's your boy Jordan. Stay nostalgic, my friends.